Welcome back. For the first time ever, 12 former competitors have been given back their white aprons for a second chance to earn the title of MasterChef Canada.
I'm not the person I was in season 5. This is a fresh start.
I've been running a restaurant for 3 years now. I want to showcase the talents that I've gained since season 2.
This Sunday, the biggest culinary competition in Canadian history returns, and 2 of the distinguished judges of MasterChef Canada are joining us now to talk about Season 7. Michael Bonacini and Claudio Aprile, welcome!
Thanks for having us. Nice to be with you.
Okay, let's dive straight into this because as we just saw there, we are going to see, cooks returning from the entire past 6 seasons. So, Michael, I'm curious to know, how did you pick who was allowed to come back?
Well, we agonized over the 6 seasons, and we decided that we would pick the home cooks that we felt deserved a second chance at winning the great prize, $100,000, and the bragging rights to have the title of this season's MasterChef Canada. It wasn't easy, but we finally arm wrestled it down to 12 home cooks that return. It was a real difficult, tough decision. And it's kind of exciting to see how much they've progressed in those past years. And it all comes out in the episodes ahead.
And these, of course, are people you guys have worked with before. They've competed before. So, Claudio, how does that change the game for you as a judge, knowing them?
Well, I think that, all the home cooks have evolved over the years. They have improved all their skills. And, at the end of the day, MasterChef Canada is one of those aspirational opportunities. And we wanted to, with every season, we want to make it more difficult, more challenging. And I think when we do that, we actually create better home cooks. And this season, I think we had to actually change the term from home cook to just simply cook. I feel wholeheartedly that these home cooks now can compete on a world stage. They are absolutely incredible. There were so many results that we saw, so many dishes that we witnessed that we looked at them and we thought they were coming out of a professional, celebrated kitchen. Incredible.
So, speaking of which, Michael, this means that you've kind of upped the ante as to what you expect in a winning dish. So what were the judges looking for this season? What is the criteria and has it changed for what makes that perfect dish?
You're absolutely right, Melissa. You can imagine that these home cooks have been in the kitchen before. They know the likes and dislikes that the judges look for in any dish. So we had no choice but to up the ante with every single challenge. We had to test their creativity, their speed, their technical prowess, their cooking techniques, their seasoning approaches. It was really a combination of many elements that come together in terms of which home cook was able to move on and which home cook unfortunately got sent home. And again, these decisions were purely based upon the dishes that they cooked right in front of us. It was incredible to see the new standards that we've never seen before in this kitchen. Really fabulous.
You don't need me to tell you that we're in the middle of a pandemic. And I think a lot of people have been cooking more. And you guys aren't just judges. You're both professional chefs, successful chefs. So what have you been cooking in lockdown? Claudio, what is that?
Well, here I have one of my favorite salads. It's my crunchy Thai chicken salad. Here's the dressing that I make for it. It has chilies, garlic, ginger, Thai fish sauce. It's so simple. You just pour it right over here. It's absolutely delicious and it's healthy. This salad actually is very, very healthy to eat. There's almost no fat in it. It's full of flavor. Absolutely delicious.
Okay. All right. So, Michael, I want to know what you've been cooking at home.
Well, it's nice for a change to be cooking just for family. So in smaller quantities, coming up with dishes that you've always wanted to cook, favorite family dishes that we just love to eat. But the soul of the table for me is bread. And I've been baking some amazing bread using a no-knead recipe. So this morning, I just baked this very loaf, whole wheat flour, unbleached, plain flour, a combination of both. And it really turns out well. Super easy for anyone wanting to start out baking. Look up Mark Bittman's no-knead bake recipe for bread. Delicious.
I want to stay on this because this feels like a free chance to get great advice from two professionals. So what advice would you give to people who are at home cooks cooking during the pandemic? Claudio, let's start with you.
I think right now, because so many of us are being isolated, that I think the act of going grocery shopping and actually lining up with other people is a source of joy for me anyway. Like, I enjoy just the interaction, because oftentimes, we're spending so much time on our own in our homes. So for me, grocery shopping now has become a social activity. I love the fact that I get to go to a store now and line up with people and talk about what they're making, what I'm making. You're underneath this mask, so oftentimes they don't recognize you from being on MasterChef, which is pretty cool. I like to be under the radar, and
Right.
It's just been fun for me.
Michael, what's your advice to home cooks?
My advice is that, look, preparing meals for family every single day, sometimes twice a day, can be very difficult and trying. So if you are able to plan ahead, it really does give you advantage in terms of saving time and being organized and the whole evening experience or lunch experience running smoothly. Whenever the chance arises, make a delicious soup, such as a pureed butternut squash. Then you can freeze half of it, but use it as part of a meal for today or tomorrow. It is really about doing a little bit of prep ahead of time. It will ease and make that cooking so much more enjoyable. And let's face it, there's no greater way to express love for the ones you care about most by a beautiful home-cooked meal. So enjoy it and revel in it.
Okay, let's revel in more of what you two are doing at home. Why don't we keep on this theme of quarantine cooking, and why don't we play a game of Would You Rather, Pandemic Home Edition? So here's what we're going to do. Both of you are going to answer each with like the littlest, words possible. Well, why don't we always go like Michael, Claudio? Okay, so I'm going to start. Here's the first one. So, Michael, would you rather make your own pasta or make your own pizza?
Make my own pizza.
Claudio?
Pizza.
Next up, sourdough bread or chocolate cake?
Oh, chocolate cake all day long.
Chocolate cake. Sourdough
Michael?
is hard.
Dinner in front of the TV or at the table?
Always at the table.
In front of the TV watching Breaking Bad back to back.
Ooh.
Yes, yes. Okay, here's the next one. Breakfast first thing in the morning or wait for brunch?
I'm a breakfast guy. Every single morning, breakfast is best in the morning.
I like a smoothie around, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's very civilized.
Okay, and finally, trying new recipes or going back to old favorites?
I think you can do both. Try tested and true recipes are terrific when you have very little time. Experimenting creates culinary excitement, and who doesn't love that?
I like to try something new. I'm always interested in exploring new ideas, new dishes, new flavors. But my go-to a few times a week is a French omelet. I think it's one of the trickiest dishes to make.
Ooh.
It's so simple. It just has a couple of ingredients, good quality butter, eggs, you whisk it properly, and that beautiful custardy center, it just brings me back home. I love it.
Oh, gosh, we love it. Hey, we always love it when you guys are here as well. So we want to remind all of the viewers that MasterChef Canada, it is back premiering Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on CTV as well. You can also find all the recipes that Michael and Claudio have been talking about here as well on our social media channels, because I know people like my mom are like, how do you make what they were showing? So you can get it on our socials after this. And speaking of which, we'll be right back after this.